We've all had that moment. You drag yourself through the front door after a shift that felt like it lasted 3 days. Your shoes are still on. Your keys aren't even down yet. And there they are. Tail moving like it's trying to power a small city. Eyes wide, doing that little side-to-side weight shift they do when they can barely contain themselves. And then you do the thing. Maybe you sigh too loud. Maybe your shoulders drop and your face just doesn't respond the way it used to. Maybe you just walk past them toward the couch. Pause. Look away from the camera for 2 full seconds. And they shrink. Not dramatically. Not in a way you'd catch if you weren't looking. Just a quiet, subtle collapse of energy. The tail is still moving, but lower now. Eyes tracking you across the room, trying to figure out what they did wrong. Here's the thing. They weren't just being a dog at that moment. They were reading you. Processing your emotional frequency like some kind of biological radar system we spent decades convincing ourselves they didn't have. Today, we're talking about 7 things you're doing that genuinely hurt your dog's feelings. And the hardest part? You're doing almost all of them out of love. Lean forward, hands clasped. Expression, not angry, just tired of the oversimplification. Now, here's where a lot of trainers would stop me and say, dogs don't have feelings in the human sense. It's conditioning, it's stimulus response, it's reward-based behavior. And I get it. I used to nod along to that. Actually, wait. Let me be more precise here, because it's not that the science is wrong. It's that it's incomplete. It strips out the weight of the actual relationship. It ignores the 15,000 years dogs spent rewiring themselves specifically to understand us. Research out of Budapest, the Davos Lorraine University, if you want to look it up, showed that dogs process human emotional cues in the same brain region that humans use for social bonding. They're not just responding to a tone of voice. They're reading intent. So when you feel that pit in your stomach, that specific 2 a.m. guilt where you think, did I give them enough today? That's not you being over-sentimental. That's you picking up on a real 2-way emotional exchange that most people spend years completely misreading. We aren't just owners. We are the center of their entire world. Not a piece of it. The whole thing. And every time we miss a signal, every time we push when they need space or pull away when they need connection, we aren't failing a training exercise. We're slowly eroding their confidence, their sense of safety. The thing that makes them them, that's what this is really about. Soften slightly. This is the lean-in moment. We're going to go through 7 specific moments, from the way you end a play session to how you use your voice to what happens in the first 30 seconds after you walk through that door. Stick around for point 7, because it circles back to this exact moment, right here. And what I'm about to tell you will completely change how you think about your dog's behavior when you've been gone all day. Soft smile. Genuine. If you want to stop guessing and start actually speaking their language, hit subscribe. Let's get into it. You know that feeling when a song cuts out right before the chorus? That weird, almost physical discomfort of something unfinished? That's what you do to your dog almost every single day. You're in the backyard or the living room, and they're vibrating. Ears up, eyes bright, body moving in that barely contained way where they can't decide whether to run left or right. The toy is in your hand. They're locked in. And then your phone buzzes, or dinner needs to go on, or you're just, honestly, kind of bored. So you drop the toy and walk inside. Pause. Let that land. To you, the session ended. To them, the music just stopped mid-note. Dogs don't experience the end of play the way we do. They don't have a concept of, okay, that was fun, let's do something else. Their nervous system is still running hot. There's cortisol moving through them, adrenaline they haven't burned through yet, and suddenly the thing that was generating all that joy just disappeared. The behavioral books say this doesn't matter much, but those books weren't written by someone who's watched a dog pace back and forth in front of a closed back door for 20 minutes, whimpering softly at the handle. The fix is simple, but it requires you to actually be present for it. Wind down. Don't just stop. Slow down. Shorter throws. Quieter energy. Let them feel the game end instead of just vanishing. It's a 2-minute investment. And it tells them you're safe. This is predictable. I'm not disappearing on you. More on that feeling of disappearing in just a moment. Hold up a hand, almost like you're admitting something. Okay, I have to confess something here, because I did this for years. You come home and there's the trash. It's everywhere. Coffee grounds on the rug, a shredded paper towel trail leading to the living room. And your dog is standing there, head low, ears back, one paw slightly raised, doing that slow, painful tail wag that looks more like an apology than a greeting. They know what they did, you think. Look at that face. Except, actually, wait. I need to walk that back because I used to believe it completely, and the research absolutely wrecked me on this. What you're seeing is not guilt. What you're seeing is fear of your face. A study published in the journal Behavioral Processes tested this directly. Dogs were scolded whether they'd stolen food or not. The guilty look appeared at the same rate regardless of what the dog had actually done. It wasn't triggered by their actions. It was triggered by your expression. Those lowered ears, the curved posture, the avoiding of your eyes. That's a dog reading your jaw, your forehead, the tension around your eyes and going into a full appeasement response. They're not confessing. They're trying to survive your mood, which means every time you delivered a long, stern lecture to a dog who clearly knew better, you were just frightening an animal that had no idea why. Pause. That one stings a little. I know. Here's something that sounds completely backwards sometimes. Staring at your dog is one of the least loving things you can do. You've probably done the thing where you crouch down, get right at their level, and lock eyes, really trying to get their attention, trying to get them to focus on you. And they look away, or they show you what behaviorists call whale eye, where the whites of their eyes go visible at the corners and they look like they're trying to escape their own skull. And you think, why won't they just look at me? Because in dog language, a sustained, unblinking stare is not affection. It's a challenge. It's what a strange dog does before a fight escalates. Now, context matters enormously here. A dog who trusts you completely, who's grown up making soft, easy eye contact with you. That's a bonded behavior, not a threat response. But the forced stare, the look at me during a stressful moment, reads as pressure, dominance, a challenge they don't know how to answer. The most disarming thing you can do, look at them, then look softly away. Let your gaze go soft. Blink slowly. Dogs actually return slow blinks as a signal of trust. It's the same behavior you see between cats and their people. It looks like nothing. It means everything. Stand up slightly, gestural. This one needs some energy. Picture this. It's early morning. There's still dew on the grass. The air is doing that thing where it carries about 15 different layers. Car exhaust from the street, someone's coffee from an open window, a fox that passed through the yard around 3 a.m. To you, it's just a fire hydrant. To your dog, it's a newspaper, a community bulletin board, a social media feed, and a crime report, all in one sniff. When you yank them away, come on, let's go. You are literally pulling them out of the middle of reading a sentence. A dog's nose contains roughly 300 million olfactory receptors. Humans have about 6 million. The part of their brain that processes smell is proportionally about 40 times larger than ours. Smell isn't a hobby for them. It is their primary reality. When we rush them through a walk, head down, fast pace, no lingering, we're essentially taking someone on a vacation and making them stare at the floor the entire time. Let them sniff. Not forever, not at the expense of the walk, but give them time. Real time, the kind where their whole body softens because they've finally been allowed to just be a dog for 5 uninterrupted minutes. Quieter now. This one's uncomfortable in a specific way. Here's the guilt one, the one that gets me every time. You want to pet them? Of course you do. They're right there, curled up in that perfect half-moon shape, paws tucked, breathing slow. And you reach over and start scratching behind the ears because you need it, even if you don't fully admit that. And they tolerate it. They don't move away. They don't growl. But they don't lean in either. Their body stays very still in a way that's different from relaxed. Their eyes go slightly distant. They're doing you a favor. Dogs have signals for, I need space right now, that we almost never learn to read. A lip lick that seems random, a subtle lean away, turning the head just slightly, not enough to look rude, but enough to mean something. And because they're not rejecting us, because they're too loyal to do that, we miss it entirely. We just keep going, reassured by their stillness. Respecting their off moments isn't coldness. It's the highest form of attention. The kind that says, I'm watching you closely enough to know what you actually need, not just what I want to give. Almost laughing because this is too real. Okay, the bath voice. You know the bath voice. Pitch shifts upward, sickeningly cheerful. Oh, who wants to go for a ride? And for the first few times, they believed you. Ears up, spinning in circles, running for the door. And then you turned left toward the vet. Or you turned on the tap. And now when you use that voice, they look at you with this expression that is somewhere between I love you and I don't trust a single word coming out of your mouth right now. Dogs learn the patterns attached to sounds. They hear bath time, and they feel the rubber of the tub, the cold of the water, the indignity of the whole thing. The excited voice doesn't erase the association, it just makes the contrast more confusing. Trainers say, make it positive. And sure, technically, building better associations with grooming is real advice, but standing there in your bathroom making high-pitched sounds while your dog stares at you with that flat, betrayed expression, honestly, they've already figured it out. What actually helps? Consistency. Using a calm, even voice for things they don't love, not pretending it's a party. Respect over performance. They know the difference. They always know. Slow down completely. This is the one. We're back at the door. You remember the image from the beginning. The dog who shrinks when you don't respond, the tail that drops, the quiet readjustment of their whole body. We've been circling this moment the entire video because this is where everything actually lives. Here's what's happening neurologically when you walk through that door. Your dog's brain releases a flood of oxytocin, the same bonding hormone released between mothers and newborns. At the sight of you, they have been waiting, literally processing your absence for however many hours you were gone. Some studies suggest dogs experience time differently than we do, but they absolutely register the gap. And what do? We come in distracted. We're on our phone. We're mentally still in traffic. We give them an absent-minded 2-second pat and head to the kitchen. To them, it's the equivalent of someone you love walking in, not making eye contact, and just going about their business like you're not in the room. 30 seconds. That's all this takes. Put your bag down. Get low. Actually low, like knee to floor low. Let them come to you. Don't grab, don't squeeze, just receive them. Make eye contact, soft eye contact, and let them sniff your hands like you just came back from somewhere interesting, because to them, you did. Pick up the toy from the hook, turn it over in your hands, look at it for a moment. 30 seconds of real presence. It resets their entire day. Slow music, camera at dog's eye level. Voice drops to something quieter than the rest of the video. At the end of the day, here's what I keep coming back to. They aren't keeping score. They're not building a case against you. They don't have a running tally of the missed walks, the cut short play sessions, the nights you were too tired to be fully there. That's not how they work. What they have is right now, this moment. You, here, actually looking at them. Look directly into the lens. The weight of them against your feet while you're trying to cook dinner. The way they sigh, that long, full-body sigh, when they finally settle down against your leg after a long day. The soft, muffled little sound they make when they're dreaming something good. That's the whole deal. That's what they're offering. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present, paying attention, willing to learn a language that has no words, only weight and warmth and the specific way a tail can tell you everything's okay. Toss the toy gently off to the side. Smile, real and a little tired. If this helped you see your best friend a little differently today, drop it in the comments. Tell me which one hit hardest. We're figuring this out together. See you in the next one.